Hey, what's up guys? It's Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. All right, guys, I know one of the questions that you guys asked me the most, and especially on the 80,000 subscriber video was, Brian, do more commercial bidding, do more commercial site visits and walkthrough, and show me how to bid some commercial sites. Well, I'm not gonna take a lot of time here with this lengthy introduction. I wanted to do a total walkthrough, start to finish, on how I would bid one of our new commercial sites. This was actually a snow client. Of course, they're gonna want a bid for the lawn care and the landscaping. So let's do this. Let's show you how to bid the mulch. Let's show you how to bid the mowing. Let's show you how to bid the fert, everything in between. I think this is really gonna help some people out. I haven't seen a video like this. So by the time we're done, if you guys enjoyed this one and it helps, and or if you guys wanna see more of these in the future, smash that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up, give me some love. Let me know if these help you out. Let's do this. Let's jump in the truck. I'll show you guys what we're working with. All right, guys, so sorry about the shades. Just got done from church a couple hours ago, looking GQ for the day. It's actually 55 degrees in the dash today, which is a gem of a day in Michigan, right? It is the end of February right now, and we're gonna be going into spring. In fact, if you guys look out the window, the snow is finally melted, so we can finally do some bids and get some measurements, right? All right, so here's what we're gonna be working with. I've got some numbers that I've already jotted down. I've been here for about a half hour putting this whole program together, just to save some time with trying to do the mental math on camera live for you guys. But here's the deal. We are going to be working off my commercial snow lawn care contract, this new form that I have for you guys that is completely editable. It's a $20 contract we made available on launchpreneuracademy.com. If you want it, just go to the website, you click download, you get an email. You can open it up and literally edit it to make it personal for your business. Add your logo, add things, subtract things. It's really, really simple. But in this whole site, or in this whole proposal, there's about 7, 8, 9-ish different categories, okay? I don't know if you guys can read this, but we have, let me do this for you. These are the different categories here that we're gonna be talking about. So we've got lawn maintenance, weeding, mulch, spring cleanup, fall cleanup, fert, irrigation, so on and so forth. And then how I wanna wrap up with is talking to how you can chisel out a pretty chunky business by just doing simple little sites like this. All right, so let's do a walk around together. All right, now here's the deal. One thing I wanna start with is, you guys gotta remember, when you're bidding commercial sites and you're bidding sites in general, figure out the ideal client and the ideal customer for you. Here's the deal. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys right now. A lot of you send me DMs, photos, emails with like screenshots and photos and the whole deal, trying to help you guys bid out certain sites. And to be honest with you, it's above my pay grade and it's above my ideal target client or avatar customer. Well, what does that mean? Well, guys, I do a lot of 1-acre sites, 2-acre sites for commercial, and for residential, they're all the same cookie cutter 4,000 to 5,000 square foot residential lawns and lawn customers in the subdivisions. Well, what am I trying to say? Your boy here is not trying to bid out 10-acre commercial sites, you know, massive hotels, massive strip malls. I'm not trying to bid out a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Kroger, a grocery store, right? So one thing I'll tell you guys, before you start taking on bids, well, I got this one site and I got this other site. Hey, the excitement of getting a new customer is very apparent for all of us, especially when you're just getting started. But I'll be honest with you, sometimes we don't have the equipment, the manpower, the know-how to bid those larger sites. So I will not speak to that. If you guys got this, you know, 200 unit condo complex and it's like 31 acres and 5 miles of edging, the whole deal, that might be what you guys want. For me, that's not what I want. My business, owner, operator, we would not be able to take on a client like that. So hopefully somewhere along the way, as everybody's doing YouTube and getting more people getting on YouTube, somebody else can speak to that. But let me just show you guys what I'm good at, which is the smaller stuff, lean and mean. And by the way, it doesn't have to be big and fancy to make a boatload of cash. Sometimes the smaller stuff is where you can make the larger profit. I learned that from Stanley Dirt Monkey. All right, so let's talk numbers together. Let's talk about lawn maintenance. Let me turn the camera around here. We'll do a little walk through here. Hopefully you guys can be respectful of the fact that you don't know the business's name. We're bidding here on a Sunday, but this whole property right here, I've personally used yard books to do all the mapping, so I know how much property this is. This is 0.35 of an acre, I believe 0.25 to 0.35 of an acre, this whole area. Over here we've got another 0.45 going to the wood line, and then around this little pond over here, right? So this whole, all this grassy area that we got to mow and trim. Trim time will be pretty even to mow time, as you guys can look around. This right here is going to be 0.75 of an acre. Now, one question I get a lot, Brian, what's should we mow at? $1 a minute, 0.25 a minute, $1.50 a minute. Totally up to you. what you guys want to do. You have to figure out your numbers for your business. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole on this video, but for me personally, for Brian's Lawn Maintenance, I like to run at $125 an hour for me and a guy. Okay, so me and another guy who I'm paying $10, $15, $18 an hour, whatever it is, we need to run my business at $125 an hour to make the money I want, to create the lifestyle I want. Remember, I did videos in the past where don't figure out like, oh, this money and then go this way. Figure out how you want to live and then work backwards. So based on how many hours I can put into my business, how much, you know, our overhead is, I do some simple math backwards, and I know that for the 1,200 to 1,500 hours that we're going to be out in the field this year, I've got to make sure that we're running a certain rate. And for me, I like to make $125 an hour. Now, don't get lost in the weeds on that one. I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas here. So this whole thing is, let's say it's an acre, takes me not even an hour to do this whole site. Well, the reality is that this site right here probably would take me about 45 minutes to do at most. But here's the deal. Drive time here, drive time back, the whole deal, it's gonna take a good hour, right? So it might only take 30, 40 minutes to do this site, but really it's 5 minutes out of my route, 5 minutes back into my route. So I need to make sure that someone's paying me for that drive time there and back, and I'm making that $125 an hour. Now, again, I'm not telling you guys I'm the guru and I have it all figured out. These are just numbers, okay? Just get a big picture here with me. 0.75 of an acre, 0.75. We can mow this, trim it, mow it, blow it, do the whole deal, 45 minutes or less. Just looking at it, I already know, because I've done this before. I've got 5 other sites that are just like this that we've been doing for 3 years. And so I know, basically looking at it, dude, perfect client, like exactly what I'm looking for. Again, you might go across the street and there's something over there that's 3 acres. It's too big for me because one guy's gonna be spending too much time mowing, another guy's gonna be spending too much time trimming. Not ideal, right? We've talked about that in videos past. All right, so for the mowing, what we like to charge is $125 an hour. I'm gonna give a little break here, about $110 for a weekly cut. Now, if they wanna do bi-weekly, boom, already they're gonna be off the chopping block as a potential prospect of a customer. We don't do any bi-weekly in my business. We have other videos I'll try to link here. You can watch why we don't do bi-weekly. But for the weekly mowing price, $110, right? And I got all this on the pad in the truck. We'll jump on that in a second and show you guys a little bit more. Now, here's the deal. Mulch beds, mulch beds, mulch beds, right? So on my phone, I always take notes and I jot down in my notepad all the different mulch. Now, of course, the day I do my video, I forget my measuring wheel, right? But this right here, I use some simple math, 5 feet by 10 feet, 50 square feet, something like that, right? And again, 150 square feet per yard. That's actually super conservative. You can usually stretch it, but just get an idea. So what am I looking for as we go through mulch? Well, some of these trees over here, we're gonna put mulch around. This tree, this tree, this tree. There's a utility box, I think, over there in the corner. There's 5 different trees that we're gonna be putting mulch around. And then we also got this main bed, the north bed, the main bed up front. I know I'm coming at you guys fast. I got it all written down in the truck. We'll review it in a second. All right, so the next part on the list, I had to run back to the truck, is the fertilizer. So how do we bid fertilizer? Well, I am not a fertilizer guy anymore. My friend Mike Bedell handles that. But around here, like I said, 0.75 of an acre, I try to get Mike $110 to $125 over here to do this acre. Now, again, I don't know if that's high or low. Based on the last couple sites that I have, Mike lets me price it. And to me, this wouldn't take Mike probably more than 20 or 30 minutes to do. But again, Mike's got to drive 10 minutes here, 10 minutes back to wherever he was. So this is $125 for about an acre or so worth of grass that he can treat. Now, let me do this. Let me jump back in the truck. Let me show you some of these numbers here so you guys can get a better idea of what we're working with. All right, guys, so work with me for a few minutes here. But again, 0.75 for the site, $125 an hour is what we want to make for Brian's Lawn Maintenance. We have maintenance, 26 weeks. We have weeding. Now, how do I do my weeding? So we do $75 per hour. It's not like per guy. It's kind of like for me and my guy, but usually it's per guy. But if I had somebody else here, I'd be charging $25 an hour for that guy to pull weeds. But for me to be here per hour to run the business, it's $75 an hour for just me. We have 6 labor hours. Now, what's the 6 labor hours? That is basically 1 labor hour per month to pull weeds on this property. Now, that's a pretty not conservative number, but this is what I do, just a budget so these guys know. Here's what happens. Usually it takes about 2 hours per month to pull weeds at a place like this. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, there's this bed all the way up front, this other bed up here, and then this main tree bed, right? So realistically, it's gonna take maybe 2 hours a month, you know, April, May, June to weed this property. But here's what I've always noticed is that August, maybe September, October, not so much. Usually we don't do very much, if any, weeding in the fall once we keep up on it and the weather starts to, you know, turn and get a little bit colder, right? So this is what's worked for me. I always do a budget of 6 hours. I tell the client, by the way, everything else is basically a fixed item cost, a fixed line item. But this right here can be a little higher, a little lower. Most of the time when you talk about weeds, customers do not complain if there's 3 or 4 labor hours of this because they want the property looking nice. Anything else, if you do a mulch job for $700 and you end up charging them $1,400, they're gonna flip out. But weed pulling, people are usually more flexible. But again, you might wanna double this and say, hey, 12 labor hours and it's gonna be double this just to be conservative because you always wanna make sure you're within the budget, not over the budget for these companies. Now, mulch right here. Mulch, we are gonna be doing 8 yards. Realistically, if we did the math, there's about 7, and I do $100 per yard installed of premium brown mulch, which for us is about plus or minus $30. So that is not $700, right? Little sales tip here, $695. Well, where did we get the math and the numbers? Man, I'm hopefully trying to give you guys the farm right now. Let's do this. So there was 8 tree rings at 3 by 3. That is 72 square feet. Oops, I just hit the wrong button. Let's see, we got the 8 by 4 sign, that's 32 feet. That is 104 square feet, so 0.69 yards. Let's do the northern bed was about 1 yard, just could eyeball that. Front bed, that's this big bed right here, as you guys can see. This right here is about 3 yards up front. Of course, like I said, I don't have my measuring wheel today. And then what else we got? The side bed along the building, that was this property piece right up here. Is about 3 yards. Now I use a lot of the yard book tools like I just showed you guys to measure this. That's why I love yard book with the mapping software. It can really help you out. Some of you guys use Google and different services, which is pretty cool. So if you add up the 1 yard, the 3 yards, that's 3, 6, 7 yards. So I wrote 8, it'll probably take 7, maybe 6. So if I was gonna do this job, what would I do? I would start with probably 5, maybe 6 yards, and then go back and get another yard if I need to. My yard is 5 minutes down the road, which is super convenient, but realistically, we'll probably grab 6 yards, and if we need a little bit more, we'll go back. But don't get 8, because you don't want to have 2 yards extra laying around, so I would probably start with 6. So we're gonna do 7 yards, charge them for 7, just in case, at $100. That's $695. You never want to do like 700 or 650 or 1200. Do 1195, 1185. Like, make it seem a little bit more legit. Not that this isn't legit, but you guys know what I'm saying. All right, so let's keep it going here. Switch hands. My right hand is getting tired. By the way, thumbs up if you guys appreciate this. I am talking fast to do all this and try to help you guys out. Spring cleanup. We always, for about an acre site, takes us about an hour, hour and a half, $245. Why is it $245? Well, if it's gonna take us an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, we wanna make sure we're getting that $125 an hour rate to run the company. Fall cleanup, same thing. It just depends on how much we have that gets hauled away. A lot of these trees, it didn't look like they're really thick, you know, maple trees or, you know, I don't even know, oak trees. So it shouldn't take that much time. Plus, more than likely we can dump in the woods at this site, so we don't have to haul much away. Something to always factor in. Fertilizer, for us, what do we do? $125 an app, like I was talking about, at 5 applications. Everywhere in the country might be different, so price accordingly. What I've noticed is that most of my commercial clients do not want lawn of the month club, so they only do 5, not the regular 7 rounds that we do in Michigan for residential. 6 1/4, right? Irrigation started up, $125. Blow it out, $125. My friend Mike will do that for me because he handles all my irrigation work. So that's an easy thing to factor in, which that again is about the hour rate that I want to make sure that we're making for my company or anybody else that I'm subcontracting work out for. So what do you get this? This is a total of $53.70 when you add up all this. So $2,800 in mowing, $450 for the weeding, could be a little bit more. We always tell the customer that, but nobody's ever complained that we did more weeding. Mulch, 8 yards, but let's just say it's gonna take 7. We'll buy 6 and start there, $695, so on and so forth, right? So here's what I wanna show you guys right here is, You know, everybody's always talking about how do you run a big business, or how can you as an owner operator make, you know, 150, 200 grand? Well, this is what my business is in the process of doing. Let's say you do 8 sites like this a day. Pretty reasonable to do a 1 acre site. I mean, you could do probably 10, 12 of these a day. But let's just say you did 8 at 5 days a week and you had 40 clients doing this, right? It's not really that much of a stretch. Well, 40 times 5,000 is 200 grand gross, or as you guys can see, $214,000. By the way, that is no snow. That's no snow. Let's just say you spend the client is $3,500 for the 4 months winter for salt and snow plowing services. Might be high, might be low. Let's just say it's $3,500 at 20 clients, because you can't do 40 clients in a snow event with 1 truck. Not gonna happen, but you can do 20 sites like this, no problem. That's another $70,000. So if you take 214 and 70,000, $285,000 out of your business. That is very doable. Now here's the deal. A lot of you guys are gonna be like, well, Brian, is that what you do? No, I'm definitely not there yet. That's why I'm still bidding. That's why I'm still taking on commercial clients. But here's the deal, man. That is the sweet spot. I don't know how to bid, 1,400 unit apartment complexes with 38 buildings, okay? I'm not there. I'm not also trying to talk to that person that's trying to bid that stuff. You guys are probably owner operator. You're doing gas stations, McDonald's, those kind of places. That's the idea for this video, is to help you guys out with that. All right, so I had to jump out of the truck. It's super beautiful out. I wanted to spend some more time out here just breathing in the fresh air. Couple quick takeaways. Number 1, make sure as you're bidding commercial work, if you're the place that you're submitting a bid to, let's just say the last guy was doing it for $14,000. Well, here's how our industry works, and I want to give you a tip that I heard from Troy Clogg. Just because they did it, the last guy did it for 14, does not mean you should do it for 13. Okay, like right now everybody's like accepting bids. Well, the industry pricing is going to be based on guys like you and me. Okay, so like we got to be friends, we got to work together here. If you're watching this video, we're all in this together. Just because I do a site for $5,300 doesn't mean the next guy should come in and do it for $4,900 or $4,200, because that price is just going to spiral out of control. Let's do something together as a community and an industry and raise our prices together. That's something that I think we should all be vying for. The numbers that I just quoted and gave you, 5 grand to take care of a site like this, it's actually pretty nominal. It's really not like a massive anchor account. Here's the deal though, it pays the bills. And you know, you can have 2 or 3, 4 large commercial sites, you can have 20 or 40 little sites. I don't think there's any wrong answer. For me, I like the convenience of how fast my residential pay, because I do my charge card on file system, but commercial takes 30 to 60 days sometimes to collect the check. It is what it is. You might be able to get a premium, sometimes not. So just really factor that in. By the way, if you guys want to get access to that commercial contract form, it's 20 bucks. It's available on the website. It's our lawn maintenance commercial contract. It's a great form. Legalese on the back end of it. I didn't really get to show off much of it, but that's basically what I do. I find a client, if they're open to a bid, I will come up here, I'll do those measurements and those numbers on those 7 or 8 different categories. We populate that into the form. I email it to the client. If they want to execute, hey, we just need your signature on it and we're good to go, right? So anyway, guys, not trying to impress, not trying to teach you guys all my fantastic wisdom, but here's the deal. If you guys enjoy this video, shoot it a big thumbs up. This is a typical site that you guys might see. Oh, hey, one other quick tip. Make sure you have a minimum. If you pull up to a McDonald's or a standalone store and there's 0.25 or 0.1 of an acre of grass to mow, just remember your time is what you're really competing against too. Your time and equipment, right? Your time, equipment, and your labor. So what does that mean? Well, let's take a McDonald's or a tire store or whatever. Yes, you're going 15 minutes there, you're going 15 minutes back, and you're only at the site for 20 minutes. But that's still an hour. Just because it's only a 10-minute mow job, don't bid it for 20 bucks. Don't bid it for $25. Bid it for $45, $65. Why? Because you got to get that $80, $100, $125 an hour rate to run your company and make some really good money. Anyway, not trying to impress, just having some fun with you guys. If you enjoyed this one, shoot me a big thumbs up. Commercial site, walk through, bid through, the whole process. If this helped you guys out, share with another lawn bro. That's it, guys. Over and out. We'll catch you on the next one.